Pordenone, Portus Naonis, a port on the Noncello River. An intense embrace of open spaces and water marks the relationship between the river and its city. Up to the extreme eastern boundaries, where the secluded Torre Castle and the remains of the Roman villa witness to the origins of this ancient center in Friuli Venezia Giulia in the northeast area of Italy. The clean and sinuous flow of the Noncello River marks the boundaries of a lively urban space, extraordinary. Here, man has conveyed and controlled the unceasing energy of the resurgence waters, molding a landscape full of lakes, irrigation ditches, and locks. And here, the slow-flowing waters of the river have transported the changing sense of history, infusing essence and matter with a unique civilization. To flow, to welcome, to integrate. A free spirit has been running through the Contrada Maggiore for centuries. Not a square, not an enclosed place, rather a street full of art and history, of trades and of people. A river of shade and light. Pordenone runs lengthways, and its beauty is best grasped in perspective. A vibrating, different beauty that expresses an original identity. From 1276 to 1508, when it was ruled by Venice, Pordenone prospered as a commercial enclave of the Habsburg dynasty, with its own Veneto cultural, political, economical climate within the Patriarchate of Aquileia. What takes shape is defined by Pasolini as a linguistic island almost at the center of the Friuli region, the result of a different history and thus of a different civilization, intended as outlook. An open and dynamic outlook, grasped as if in a snapshot by the coat of arms dating back to the 14th century. A door opens up of flowing waters over the red and silver colors of the House of Austria. In Pordenone, everything flows, even your glance that stops bewitched on the scenes of the Urbs Picta, the painted city. To the eyes of Beato Odorico from Pordenone, the apostle of medieval China, those facades would have looked like damasks illuminated by sunlight. After the fire in 1318, a new city emerged from the remains of the modest little wooden houses, with large brick buildings and tiled roofs of Romantic rigor, clothed by sensual Venetian, multicolored decors, where the charm of the trilobed windows opened up onto the geometric affresco shapes of the transient Gothic style. The Renaissance brought unprecedented freedom with it, winning the dramatic epidemics of the second half of the 15th century with its vital strength. Together with the elegant bell tower of the principal church and the picturesque loggia of the town hall, beyond the noble rooms with their courtly affrescos, beyond the cloisters of its silent convents, Pordenone draws the curtain wide open to reveal a splendid 16th century. Other ideas, other shapes, other colors. The large Venetian estate flourished with superb facades. Brushstrokes became layered. New glimpses revealed a very modern sense of movement. This was the season of the city's greatest offspring, Giovanni Antonio de Sacchis, called Il Pordenone. Energetic, feverish, restless. He worked continuously without wasting a moment, deserving the epithet of Pictor Modernus for his style. Commerce with Venice continued from the pier beyond Porta Furlana. Dalmatian and Bosnian emigrants crowded around the Porta della Bossina. In the Contrada Maggiore and the neighboring villages, textile factories became more frequent, and the first hammers began a glorious engineering industry. Pordenone releases vital energy. Ebbs and flows. After almost 3 centuries of Venetian rule, with an interval of Napoleonic domination, the city returned to Austria and entered the Industrial Revolution. The river trading waters fed a new driving force. The courage of businessmen from Lombardy, Austria, and Switzerland created a cutting-edge textile economy and molded an original urban landscape, witnessed to today by a charming system of artificial lakes. Torre, Rorai Grande, the almond cotton mill. The cotton mills were established together with the paper mills and employed up to 12,000 workers. The Napoleonic Road and the Venice-Udine Railway anticipated the unification of Italy in 1866 by a few years. Modern stone bridges were built across the Noncello River. Art and architecture found new inspiration. In 1883, the Little Manchester became one of the first Italian cities to have public electric lighting. Pordenone grew under a new light and matured a deep civic, working class, and business conscience. An innovative spirit that revealed itself in extraordinary feats, like that of the Galvani family, who transformed the century-old ceramic handicraft tradition into an activity of a high industrial level, attentive to market niches, to technological research and design, capable of making its brand well known around the world. Across alternating periods, the long-term effects of the Industrial Revolution reached the thresholds of the World War II post-war period. The seeds of the Habsburgic experience flourished in the fertile soil of the local induced activity. Pordenone experienced its unrepeatable prime between the 50s and the 70s. The boundlessly brilliant feat of the textile machinery industry contrasted with the decline of the cotton works. The production of artistic ceramics was accompanied by the large-scale production of sanitary ware. The first furniture industries marked the beginning of a vocation that was destined to spread to the near Alto Livenza area. Nevertheless, what changed the appearance and fate of the city was, above all, a brand and a name: Zanussi. With Lino Zanussi, the workshop founded by his father Antonio in 1916 took off into the global industry era. In 1966, the group had 8,600 employees and was second only to Fiat on the Italian manufacturing industry scenario, allowing Italy to outdo Germany in terms of the production of household appliances. Zanussi Rex became synonymous of ongoing innovation and established an epoch-making design. The course of a promising future was plotted in the production plans and in the executive headquarters designed by Gino Valle. And Pordenone moved the barycenter of Italy's industrial economy further northeast. The small town that in 1964 had 1 car every 6 inhabitants and where televisions were homemade experienced an extraordinary increase in its population and in 1968 became the capital of the province. Never looking back, the newly born capital received new nourishment and continued to grow, cultivating the unsuspected resources of a metropolitan imagination between the creases of a ruffled vitality. Suspended between an economical backflow and social wealth, during the 70s and the 80s, Pordenone discovered that it was exactly what it had always been, a creative city.
These were the years of punk rock,
This was different music, a thrilling and pervasive experience that is still at the basis of the musical panorama of Pordenone today, expressing itself on new stages and inspiring innovative producers. Freakish anti-city atmospheres nourish the crowded techno-gothic dreams and fantasies of an extraordinary workshop of comic strip artists that have made a name for themselves in Europe. Pordenone breathed and exuded art and imagination in the hallmark of youth and of a contagious effervescence. Independent experiences gradually converged towards a new awareness. The great theatrical season was opened. Likewise the book trade, and the literature one. In this expressive crescendo, the city did not forget its ancient spirit of hospitality, inventing events that opened its gates to the world. The Silent Movie Festival reproposes the timeless charm of the first films to a qualified international audience. The Dedica Festival hosts a great cultural star every year, mixing languages and testimonials and opening up to different geographical and cultural realities. Pordenone Legge is the name of the Great Book Festival, a celebration that blends rigor with lightheartedness, amusement with meditation, encouraging a dialogue between authors and readers who have the same love for literature by organizing paths and meetings. Pordenone reads, writes, makes music, draws, expresses itself, always and in any case. In this climate of diffused creativity, the city also transforms itself by means of new architectural models. With the Beato Odorico Church, Mario Botta from Ticino puts a sacred place in a suburban neighborhood, a strong and geometric architectural space that communicates with the environment, bringing to mind the intimate spirituality of archaic Christian buildings. Not far from here, Otmar Barth creates the new Diocesan Center, a large multifunctional complex that is harmoniously integrated in the landscape and that hosts the precious Museum of Sacred Art, designed in an imaginatively elegant way. These valuable works of art are situated at the boundaries of the belt of open spaces and waters that has been gradually exploited to become a municipal heritage. Century-old parks, historical buildings, and very charming romantic areas. Modern urban upgrading projects designed for play or for spare time. Vast private areas close to the river park, distinguished by extraordinary views of the wilderness. With 24 square meters of public gardens per head, Pordenone is one of the ecological cities of Italy, paying profound attention to the quality of the environment and to the most advanced demands of social life. Once again, the wealth achieved reflects the power of a continuously transforming industrial economy. From the mass production of the economical boom years to the production of excellence at this moment in time, the certainties of a great manufacturing tradition blend with the performances of a cutting-edge technological outlook. In Pordenone, the ability to work well always meets the tendency of far-sightedness. The profound vocation for mechanics witnesses to this, from subcontracting to metal constructions, to the textile machinery industry that has been making itself known throughout the world for almost a century, with contents that are increasingly more updated, thanks to the skill and genius of local technicians. Complex challenges, extreme challenges, from micromechanics, where increasingly more refined and efficient processes add sparks of innovation to the products of customer companies, to the monumental high-tech that has conquered the world scene with works of absolute value. This intense productivity is inspired by a fertile design awareness that runs along the roads of engineering and explores the territories of a design that goes beyond fashion, set off by extreme care over details and by an innate passion for materials. An innovative design directed towards the new dimensions of ergonomics, of home automation, of eco-technologies. The expression and the mark of a prized and well-known industry that is still capable of the force of attraction that makes Pordenone the reference point of an active and modern province. The economical drive of Friuli Venezia Giulia covers the pole positions in Italy and Europe in terms of employment, in terms of produced income, in terms of export capacity. A city in progress, Pordenone is now receiving a new wave of immigrants and is experiencing an additional phase of deep social transformation. This continuous and spontaneous growth process requires the implementation of long-term strategies, the ordering and organizing in a systematic way of a multitude of scattered resources, as well as the creation of a joint project with a global outlook. The need for an educational system in line with the excellencies of the economical fabric and the requests of society have resulted in the foundation of a university consortium that communicates with the universities of Udine and Trieste, which are present in the city, with graduate courses that are mainly hosted in the multifunctional center. The technological pole also exploits the culture of innovation, promoting the link between research and business. Modern woodwork and mechanical component laboratories are active here in collaboration with the other scientific and technological poles in Friuli Venezia Giulia. A privileged shop window for these specializations is Pordenone Trade Fair organization that operates on renovated trade fair grounds that slope down towards the charming river landscape and offer a cutting-edge architectural design. Nearby, the intermodal terminal offers an integrated system of logistic infrastructures, connected directly with the railway line and with the great road network of the main axis of the Corridor 5, Lisbon-Kiev. To connect, to integrate, to participate. A symbol of this all-inclusive redevelopment is the Giuseppe Verdi Municipal Theatre, with its articulate plan that contrasts with the flowing movement of the precious facade. A futuristic monument in which a centuries-old town passion that has its roots in the distant 16th century continues to be celebrated. Tradition and innovation also distinguish the new provincial administration headquarters, a Renaissance jewel set in a lively urban context. After the careful restorations that have respectfully transformed the Franciscans' convent into a multifunction space, the 18th century Dominicans' convent is also about to become a public place, i.e., a multimedia library where one can read, study, and meet people. This spirit is shared and reproposed by the Pordenone Museum Network, consisting in the Western Friuli Archaeological Museum, the Museum of Sciences, the Municipal Art Museum, and the Modern Art Gallery. Not just a collection of artistic treasures and exhibition halls, but a wide-ranging and widespread cultural project. An astounding route that touches the most charming locations in the Old Town Center and its extraordinary green suburbs. A laboratory of ideas handed down to the future and to the creativity of the new generations, where the meaning of history is grasped in its fascinating transformation, and where the city's most remote past meets with the imagination of tomorrow's city dwellers. New glances, new people, a new city. To imagine and invent. Pordenone, a city